Women of Reddit, how do you balance between not oversharing and not bottling up your emotions? You choose to vent those emotions in appropriate ways and at appropriate times. You talk about them with a trusted friend, write them in a journal, find a creative outlet for them, that sort of thing. I'm not sure if this helps, but my boyfriend once told me, when you bottle up your emotions and just let it all out at once, it's really hard for me to remember the problems and feel like I can fix things because it's so overwhelming for me. It makes me feel more like you're holding a grudge than asking me to help. It made me realize that it wasn't only hurting me but it was hurting him and our relationship. I couldn't expect him to hear me out when I just would vomit it all out at once. Now I've been better about immediately bringing something up when it happens. For me, the balance is once I bring up the problems that really bother me, I no longer get overwhelmed with every little thing and know more of when to pick my battles. When you don't talk about your feelings, it's easy to just keep layering and layering every little annoyance, but once you take ownership of them and put them out into the world, then it's just easier to let other stuff go. If the emotion is overwhelming, I'll take a shower, mostly because that's the only time I can really be alone and be physically and mentally vulnerable and honest so that I can process the whole situation. I cease all decision-making and communication until I'm calmer and can sort out my emotion. Lol, I overshare constantly because I have a weak support system. I am working on it. The same way I balance between eating nothing and everything. Everything in moderation. If you grew up around someone who only did one or the other, you may have never learned what normal sharing is. Or if you grew up with someone who punished you for sharing a normal amount and not bottling up, or not oversharing, you might have learned wrong. In that case, therapy might help you break down what normal, compared to what normal, feels to you. You should also notice what other people are sharing and match that. Don't share something you're not sure of until other people are sharing something at the same level. But if that leads you to feeling like you're bottling things up, you need to find safe people to unload on. That is, people who it is appropriate to share a lot with, no coworkers, or a new person you're dating, but a friend, a sibling, a family member. Make sure they are willing to hear you unload by saying, "Can I vent about something?" Make sure you understand that it might feel so good to start that you will not want to stop, but you need to pick one thing to vent about, and have a clear stopping place. 5 minutes of venting is fine, 10 minutes might too much. But probably therapy is your best bet. I own my emotions and take responsibility for them. I don't think I overshare with people, not even totally sure what that means, TBH, but I do share openly and honestly about my current emotional state, plus the fact that I am taking ownership of it, walking through it, and using the skills I learned in therapy. Say what's on my mind. I can say how I feel without getting physically emotional. If people feel uncomfortable, that's on them, not me. If there is a chance that what I say can be used against me in a negative way, then I stay quiet. If I need to get something off my chest and I'm not comfortable talking to someone, then I write it down, read it a few times, then burn it. In my opinion, there is no such thing as oversharing with trusted friends. Even though I'm single, I'm lucky to have a handful of close friends who I can share anything with. Beyond that, I also talk to a therapist once every other week. I never bottle up my emotions, and for me personally this has been the best path. I just overshare and people can deal with their own discomfort.